encourage a lot of people because I know people's mind is like, okay, when you hear scientists speak, they always saying something of the Earth is 4 billion years old. The sun and the moon is 4 billion years old. But then you look at the time and it's like what? 2018. What? How are y'all calculating? How you get 4 billion for the sun, moon, and everything else, but only get 2018. For now, something is not right. Something is fishy. Can everybody hear me right now? Type in yes, no, promise to repeat something. All right. Is everyone on Facebook? Can you hear me? Periscope, can you hear me? Those on YouTube, can you hear me? Because I want this to fall on deaf ears and what people that hear. All right, let me type in what I'm doing. Can you hear me? All right. Let me just hop through that. Go to Periscope myself and I can see it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Testing. Can I hear myself? Can I hear me? Testing. Slow. Testing. So, there we go. I heard something. Testing. 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 All right. There we go. All right. See, you have to check things out sometimes. All right. Get back to it. It's fun how when you go listen to scientists, whatnot, they talk about how the Earth is 4 billion years. That's it. But then when you talk about what year it is, it's 2018. What happened to the billion years? Why don't we end up billionth year on the calendar? Because something is tricky. Something is happening. And it's so tricky that they literally, you cannot. All right, so when I went to this site right here, I was just using my brain. I just started typing in stuff like, okay, how old is the sun? How old is the moon? And what I came up was billion years. And I said, okay, well, why is it 2018? And someone had did a post on Forbes, I guess, magazine, or they did a paper on it, or they did an article on it, but they will not let you find it. They hid it. So I got it right here. I can't even share it. I went to go try to share this on Facebook. It will not let me share it on Facebook. So we're going to look at it ourselves right here. We're going to read it. Make that smaller. I want everybody to be able to see it, but all right. Maybe talk about it. Yeah, it says, how do we know the Earth is 4.4 billion years old? Right? So we see that. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. How do we know that the Earth is 4 billion years old? keep scrolling. Adjust the screen. There we go. All right. Push everything in so y'all can see everything that I'm seeing. Then, all right. Now, let's get it. How do we know the Earth is 4 billion years old? Do you believe that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, according to science, or 6,000 years old? That says a lot right there. If it's 6,000 years old, then according to Scripture, we will be on the 6th day. All right. Now, it could be later than that. It could be like 6,999, moving towards the 7th day. I say that for a reason. Let's go. All right. According to the Bible, originally appeared on Quora, the place to gain the shared knowledge, empowering people to learn from others and better understanding the world. Look, the Earth solidified 4.54 billion years ago, plus or minus 1%. That's a fact. And if your belief is not aligned to this fact, then you are what we call wrong. All right? The age is arrived at by several cross-checking lines of evidence, but the great antiquity of the Earth has been apparent for much of human history. True scientific progress repeatedly found our home to be much older than previously suspected, but the widespread view that the planet is only a few thousand years old is relatively new and has no basis in either fact or scripture. Is that the truth? The 6,000 year age was arrived at by James, whoever you are, Busher, a 17th century Irish archbishop who counted up estimates of the ages of Abraham's family listed in the Old Testament and calculated that the creation began on a Julian calendar. Look what they said. Julian calendar on Saturday, October 22nd, 4004 BC. All right, at 6 p.m. Really? Usher made a lot of assumptions, chose to ignore inconsistencies within even those scriptural sources known at that time, and was unaware of certain now obvious translations issues importantly,
It's
including the way
22 hours.
the Babylonians counted, but that's besides the point. As William Henry Green wrote, the scriptures furnish no data for a chronological computation prior to the life of Abraham, and the Mosaic records do not fix and were not intended to fix the precise date either of the flood or of the creation of the world. So we got a problem going on right now. In other words, even if Usher's calculation were correct, it isn't. That's what they're saying. It would only tell us when Abraham lived, not when the world was made. But even this doesn't matter, for as Thomas Paine reminded us, the only revelation we can really trust is the creation itself. Now we know in scripture it says what? That the sun, the moon, stars, all were created on one day. So all of these elements should be this. Thank you, sir. So all of these elements should be the same age. The sun, the moon, and the stars should be the same age. So if the moon is a different age, the sun's a different age, the stars a different age, there's something wrong because it was created within the same day. Now, even though if the sun is 4,000 years old, then the moon should be as well because they've always created on the same day. All right, let's go. All right, we can really trust. Okay, when nature disagrees with scripture, scripture must necessarily be wrong. Oh, look at that. We'll say that again. When nature disagrees with scripture, scripture must necessarily be wrong. Now, this is what we need to see here. Who is telling us what nature is saying? NASA. What does NASA mean in Hebrew? Let's see what that means, so people understand here. that people can keep things from us, keep things hidden from us, just because they themselves call themselves to be experts in a certain area. Therefore, causes for the whole world to trust what they are saying. NASA. There it is. I already researched that before many times. NASA in Hebrew. See what it means. See it right there? I ain't got it. NASA means to deceive. Deception. So, let's go back here what he said. Is that what it is? I think that's it. Yeah, alright. So yeah. So we see NASA means to deceive. Alright? So this is pretty much who it is. These are the ones who are the heads of knowing what's going on in creation, nature, blah blah blah. They're the ones who supposed to have these certain kind of degrees and PhDs and all that kind of stuff. All right, so when nature disagrees with scripture, scripture must necessarily be wrong. Huh? Let Yah be true, but every man a what? Liar. All right. Nature tells us Usher was off by 6 orders of magnitude. The Earth formed a persistent solid surface 4.54 billion years ago. Okay, so that is crazy. Life appeared no less than 3.8 billion years ago. Let's see, is that true? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's see if that's true. According to scripture, when was man created? Let's look at that. Let's look at it. Sun and moon was created. Bible. All right. That's what we're gonna look at. All right. Let's see when it gets. So this is all important based off of their calculations. So they will be saying that this is wrong. That's what they're saying. So everything, whatever we read here, if it's off according to them, then they're saying that this right here is wrong. And that can't be. So let's go. We're gonna go, I'll use King James Version. Alright. We're gonna look at verse 16. Let's get it. Alright. So we see the first day. What? God said, let there be light. Okay. Alright. And y'all divided light from the darkness. Alright. So he's already making a separation. So he's making preparation for the sun and the moon, obviously. Okay. So then on the second day, he does what? He separates the waters from the water. So up in the sky is water. Okay. I want y'all to know that. There is water. When you look up in the sky, you see all that blue up there? That's water. Alright? That's what that is. It's water. When you see the flood, he says he opened up, so he opened up the windows of heaven. So people be singing songs, open up the windows of heaven, when I don't understand the windows of heaven is holding water. That's why back in the times of in the scripts, we can see where these certain entities or these certain people, they worship certain deities. Why? So they could release the rain. That's why, you know, certain Indians, what they call it, what? Rain dances. Stuff like that. They thought they do certain dances, what? And they're doing these different dances, what? To appease these certain kind of entities or these certain kind of gods, so they could release the rain. That's what they're thinking in their mind. If we do these dances, we do these different rituals, we do these different sacrifices, it will cause them to release the rain. So they understood in the heavens was water. All right. Even NASA tell you this day, we cannot get into space. But they won't say it that way. They'll say that we can't get through Earth's lower belt. We can't get through it. And that's the Allen belt. The Allen belt is what keeps people inside of this bubble where you cannot get into space. They've never, and I say this out loud and proudly, they've never been to space. They've never been to the moon. Never been to the moon. In fact, they're talking about it right now. They said if we was to get through, Earth's lower belt, that's what they call it, which is the thing that's keeping them from getting to space. They says there's a lot of hot gases, and those gases will burn up our rocket. Wait a minute, hold up. But I thought you did this before. You mean something done happened? Why can't you just go through the same place where you went through the first time? When y'all said one step for humanity on the moon. Remember that? That big old shebang? Back in the 1960s? Man hit the moon, made it to the moon. Oh, yeah, we made it to the moon. We made it to the moon. We made it to the moon. And all this big old celebration, we made it to the moon. But then 50 years later, we're trying to get through Earth's surface. We're trying to break through it. So what was all of that? That was this right here. Green screen. Just because they release a green screen now doesn't mean that they didn't have the green screen technology back then. I can't tell you that. Because then you will be like, wait a minute, what can this green screen do? It can make you think you're somewhere else. And you're not. But I digress. Moving forward. Alright, so we see the third day, water. The fourth day, the sun and the moon. Alright, so look at this. So fourth day, sun, moon, and stars. Now, let me show you this in scripture before I say it. Why you can see this is so very, very, very important. Time might be nearing and we don't even realize it. Alright. 1,000 years. All right, so Peter or Kepha, it's in Hebrew. All right, so 2 Peter 3:8 says what? But do not forget this one thing, dear friends or family. With Yahuwah, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as like a day. Now, I'm going to go to something that my ox sent to me today, which was very powerful. I'm going to read it to you. We're going to actually go look at it ourselves as well, because it's powerful, because we have other witnesses speaking about this very thing. So we're going to look at this to see if there's any other references to this, and there is. All right, so y'all go with me to, let me see that close. Won't show on here because, yeah, I just gotta do it from there. We're gonna go to Jubilees. Go with me to Jubilees chapter 4. All right, we're gonna see something here, and then you'll see why I put what I put. The penalty of knowing, because there was a penalty for knowing what they wanted to know. The penalty. All right. There is a penalty for wanting to know. I don't think they knew there was a penalty for it, but, well, he told them it was a penalty. But I want to show you that when Yah says something, he means what he said. And even the scriptures quote it perfectly. All right, so we're going to look at this, and this is thanks to my Akman who would bring this out, because y'all know I've been doing a study on, since y'all giving me that, that literally that everything flows from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and every single time you got a choice, understand it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, prompting you to do something outside of Yah, because Yah's word is absolute. There is no choice when it comes to Yah's word. When there's a choice that's given to you, that means it's something prompting you outside of what Yah said. When Yah said, eat from this tree, these trees right here, good to eat from. This tree in the middle right here, don't touch, right? See what I'm saying? So when the serpent came, hey, the day you eat of this, you'll be like what? Elohim. And then inside of that tree is what? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's choices. But Adam and Eve didn't need a choice. They just needed to be obedient. Now what's happening now? Is Yah giving us a choice? Or is he demanding obedience? Demanding obedience. There is no choice. Remember, even the scripture says, like, if you are bought with a price, you are not your own. If you are not your own, there's literally saying in the context, you don't have a choice. If Yahushua died for you and you claim him as your Messiah, you have no choice. Your only option is to keep what he said keep. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Yah. That does not sound like a suggestion. That is a command. We be getting things twisted. So we don't read this. I was looking for something else, but I'll use the sacred text, but I'll use the sacred text. This is all from the Apocrypha, all right? This is the Book of Jubilees. All right, so let's get it. I'm at everything is jacked up on here. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's up here. All right. Boom. I highlighted that for a reason. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. And I'll just scroll it so y'all can see it. All right. So we're going to start at verse 29. All right. And at the close of the 9th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year thereof, Adam died. And all his sons buried him in the land of his creation. And he was the first to be buried in the earth. Look at that. What did it say on the 30th? And he lacked 70 years. So that means he died 70 years before reaching a day. Ooh. And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years, for 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony. You see what I'm saying now? You see why this stuff is important now? If the earth, what they're saying, NASA's saying is 4 billion years. How in the world is it 2018? It makes no sense according to scripture. But the only way for them to actually be able to say what they say is for them to tone down the scriptures and say the scriptures must be wrong. No, you must be lying. Right here in Jubilees, the penalty for knowing is death. Look at it. Adam and Eve, let's look at that, what they ate. Y'all know what they ate, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, because for some people who don't know. Because they even said that. And it literally talks about that too, for eating the tree of knowledge. Let's look at that. One of them. It's probably better right here. There it is. Right there too. Boom. There we go. See if I can make this bigger. Alright. So we'll read this one. 29, right? 130. Alright. And at the close of the 9th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year, 9:30 a.m. thereof, Adam died, and all of his sons buried him in the land of his creation. And he was the first, what? He was the first to be buried in the earth. And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years, for 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony of the heavens And therefore was it written concerning the tree of knowledge. On the day that ye eat thereof, ye shall die. For this reason, he did not complete the years of this day, for he died during it. He died during the day. Look at that. He died in a day. He died within a day. The day that you eat of this is the day you die. I hope y'all got that. So let me see what y'all said. To understand how these days go. Maybe I should just go back. I was already there in the garden. Boom, I'm already here. So I need to go over. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Next one. There we go. All right. There we go. Serpent's deception. Can everybody hear me now? All right. Let's go. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Jehovah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Jehovah said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, watch this, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it. Was that a command or was that a suggestion? That was a command. Did that have a choice to it or not a choice to it? There was no choice given at all. It was do. Don't touch, don't eat. That's not a choice. That is a direct command. All right, let's go. Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. All right. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Hold on. Maybe you should go back. This is where the deception of Satan put in there. So maybe we should go back to when Yah said it to them. There we go. All right. The planting of the garden. So we had Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And Yahuwah Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Yahuwah Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, and it is that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Now, where in the world does that sound like to y'all? Like Africa, right? That's where most of the minerals, gold, rubies, all the kind of stuff. They keep that stuff. Africa is a black market. It's funny how the context of it is black market, and the people down there are black, so it's funny, but it's a black market. People don't know that Bill Clinton or the Clintons down there, they got land in Africa where they got people out there mining, trying to find different jewels and black diamonds and all that kind of stuff. But they keep this stuff on a hush. They tell you that Africa's no good and is trodden down and it's not worth anything, and the people over there starving and whatnot, and they keep that stuff on a hush. But at the same time, they the ones who are actually taking or raping that land. And they got the people down there working, and when the people don't work, then that's when you got, different outbreaks like Ebola. but there was no outbreak of Ebola until, you know, the people refused. They refused to stop mining. They stopped mining. Like, we ain't doing this no more. And it was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to say there's an outbreak down here. And then you hear them talk. It says there was no Ebola until they showed up. And they'll take us into one of the tents. And then when they come out, the person was Ebola free. But then when they went into the tent and came out, then they had Ebola. They was injecting them with things. And that was to do what? To force them. If y'all don't do what we tell y'all to do, we're going to kill you. That what was taking place. But they kept that on the hush. All right, keep it moving. All right, and okay, so where there's gold, and the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and onyx stone, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. See what I'm saying? Where is all that at? Where is Ethiopia found at? Come on now. Come on now. Yah is telling you where he put the treasure at. Now it makes sense why the South, South Africans are over there trying to take their land back. People don't understand. You came over there, you took the gold, you came over here and you started miming, and now they're fighting back. But they don't want to hear that. People are like, this is so dead wrong, we're now homeless. Dude, what did you do when you first came over here? You was killing us, inhabiting us, forcing us to forced labor. And now we finally done got the kahunas to say, leave our land. We don't need you. We found out you've been lying to us the whole entire time. Get off our land. Get off our property. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for none of them people over there who's being kicked off of their land. I don't feel bad for none of them. Get off. Moving. All right. In the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it, which goeth toward the east of Assyria. Where's that at again? Over towards the Middle East. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Oh, snap. We go, before this ends, this is another reason why I brought y'all here, so you can see what the Euphrates River look like right now. There's a scripture that talks about how the Euphrates River must be dried out so armies can pass through it. That's another reason why I'm bringing this out. It cannot be 2018. It cannot even be 57, 78. It has to be way later than that. But someone, because look, 57, 78 is calculated based off of 2018, which is the Julian calendar, if that makes sense. All right, so we see right here, then we get to it, the forbidden fruit. And Yahuwah took, Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yahuwah, look what he says. What does he say? He suggested to him? Or is this a command? Hold on, make that wider. So y'all can see this. I ain't making this stuff up. And Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man. In a command, there is no choice. And Yahuwah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day, listen to those words, for in the day, we just found out, 1,000 years makes up one day. So when they said the millennium came, guess what? We all survived one day. We was around to see one day, according to scripture. Those who was born in the year 2000, you ain't seen a day yet. I'm just saying. Just saying. We was around to see one day. So when millennium, when they sold the so-called millennium, that was one day. All right. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. It's powerful. And then we just read in Jubilees, it says that he died in the day. He didn't reach 1,000 years. So 1,000 years is 1 day. How in the world the earth is 4.54 billion years old, but we're only at 2018? Somebody's lying. Somebody is lying. There's no way, because here goes Yah saying what a day is. So what in the world is NASA talking about? They're lying to hold the truth from you. Because think about it. Would you be acting a fool if you know that you are at the cuff of the Messiah coming back? Would you even think about sinning one time if you knew that time is that short? Wouldn't you be trying to make it right with every single person you know? Just as the scriptures say? Would you be trying to go out there one last time to try to party? Would you be trying to go out there one last time, try to get a hit on something, or some weed, whatever, get a hit on dope, whatever? Would you be thinking your life is YOLO? You only live once, but be forgetting about that you only die once too? That's the funny part about it. People say, YOLO, man, YOLO. Like, you only live once. I'll be like, yeah, but you only die once too. That's what the enemy does. He did it in the Garden of Eden, and he's still doing it till this day. Give people something that seems so good. YOLO, man, you only live once. But he forget to tell you, you only die once too. Then after this, the judgment. He forget to tell you that. He just feel you all pumped up, all full of pride. Yeah, man, you only live once. Yeah, man, I feel that, dog. Shoot, you only live once, and that one act can kill you. But he never tells you. He hold on to that other secret like, yeah, you only die once too, fool. You only die once too. Flesh and bones. You only die once too, human being. I got you like I got Adam. I got you like I got Eve. Yo, no. Everything that's dope, everything that's hip, everything that's out here in the world that is engaging and got your attention, guess where it comes from? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. Truth is absolute. Choice comes from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because inside of it is a choice. But Yah didn't want us to be burdened with those choices. So going back now to the tree of knowledge of good and evil, where we see now that they have now taken the bait, as many of us have taken the bait. Let's look at this. All right. All right. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. That means this dude got street smarts. You talking about street cred? That's the serpent right there. You the one who calling the shots and everybody. His name is known in the streets. He's known. But they don't have any street cred. They don't need street cred if they are obedient. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, have Yah said, look at how slick he come, like a con man, trying to get her to regurgitate every single thing that the Father said verbatim, which is the same thing as saying she have her right mind. She's not drugged up or anything. She's doing this of her own volition, her own free will. Knowing that she's breaking what you told her to do. Right? You shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree. So look, she's telling them everything what Yah said. We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah have said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not die, surely die. Look at this. This is YOLO. Look at it. They go YOLO right there. Do y'all? I hope y'all see that. There is YOLO right there. YOLO is born at verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. Man, you only live once. Look at this. Watch this. Man, you need to live it up. For Yahuwah doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, guess what? Man, it's going to be popping. Your eyes going to be open, man. You only live once, and you shall be as gods. Dude, this is YOLO right there. YOLO is in the beginning of the book. The enemy does nothing new. He just takes it and revamps it and gives it a different name. But it's the same exact thing. The tricks are not new. They're the same. And he keeps using them because they keep working. I know y'all can see that. I know y'all can see that. I know y'all can see that. I know without a shadow of a doubt y'all can see that right there. It's powerful. It's powerful. YOLO is right here in this script. Can y'all hear me out there? Can y'all still hear me? You hear? I can't see nothing. If anyone say anything, I can't see no word. I can't see nothing. I think I'm still posting. Yeah, still posting. Alright. So tell me to tag them. One moment. Someone told me to tag them. Alright, so we see YOLO right here. Alright, you shall not surely die, for Yahuwah doth know in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as what? Elohims, right? Knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now, who dies first, though? Adam. But he eats the fruit last. But why does he die first? Because he knows that. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So we see, now, there's a penalty for this. The penalty of knowing, right? Now we're going to get some other things, all right? We go back to what he said, the sun and the moon. We already went there. Look at this. It says here, look at all these days. 4.5 billion years ago. Come on now. Someone's lying. Somebody's lying. And all because of that. Look at it. For this reason he did not complete the years of his day, for he died during his first day. What was his first day? First day would be 1,000 years. So for this reason, Adam did not complete 1,000 years. He did not live for a day. He died in the same day that he ate of the fruit. It's powerful. The day that Adam and Eve ate of that fruit, he died in that same day. It's powerful. Now, when we look at the earth, the moon, stars and stuff, this is how it could be arranged in a way. I'm going to look at it this way. When Yah made the earth, the moon, stars, he could have made them all in the same day, but as you can see here, so on the 100th day, so it's day 100 years, boom, that's still the same day. And then 200 years down the road, he can make the moon. And 20 years down the road, and then another couple of years down the road, he can make the stars. All that is still within a day. So if we're looking at it this way, then it means like this. It was a process. 1,000 years, first day, Yah said, "What? Let light be." So after 1,000 years of the earth being without form and void, and darkness upon the face of the deep, and Yah moved upon the face of the waters for 1,000 years. Then after those 1,000 years, he said, "You know what? I'm tired of looking at this for 1,000 years, whatever. Let light be." Boom. So then light is for 1,000 years. Then you know what? I'm tired of seeing these waters just not doing anything. I gotta do something. So after another 1,000 years, says, you know what? Calls for the waters to separate. Then after another 1,000 years, he come up like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? Waters, let the dry land appear. Then after 1,000 years of that, he's like, you know what? I need for some other things to come existence. I need for the sun, the moon, or you can make the sun this day. All this is being done within a day. So the first 100 years, sun. Next couple of 100 years, the moon. Next couple of 100 years, stars. All of this still being done within the fourth day. Fifth day, which will be another 1,000 years. You're like, you know what? All right, that's been going for a while now. I need some fish to bring forth, waters bring forth everything in you. This team with fish, birds, everything that's of water form, just let it come forth. And be abundant. Then after that 1,000 years of that being around, then so it's funny, right? The fish been around longer than we have. Ain't that some stuff? Fish and birds have been around longer than man has. The water has been around longer than man has. The stars, the moons, and everything has been around longer than man has. Dirt has been around longer than man has. Hope y'all get that. But they're obedient. The sixth day, y'all create what? Creatures on the land. Animals. A dog has been around longer than you have. The existence of animals has been around longer than we have. And they're obedient. We've been around less than any creation on the face of the earth, but it's the most rebellious thing you've ever seen in your life. How is that possible? Shouldn't we have some kind of humility? We've been around less than anything created. And I just proved it. We was the last thing to be created. The last. It's powerful. And it's humbling at the same time. And then we're going to tell y'all, you know what? I want to take the rest on the Shabbat. I'm going to choose Saturday. I'm going to choose Sunday to be my day of rest. But a dog, you tell him to come here, he comes. Tell the dog to sit, he sits. But it's been around longer than you have. Obedient. But we are disobedient because we want to do what we want to do. There's a penalty for knowing. Let me show you that too as well. Bring you over. There we go. Maybe it might let me do it. Maybe it won't. I'm going to test it out. Nope, it didn't do it. It just went somewhere else. Start this fine. Oh, Genesis 6 and 2. There it is. Alright, so we're going to do that one. Going Genesis 6 and 2. That's where we're going next. It's a penalty for knowing. Alright. The wickedness of men. Alright. I'm going to just start from verse 1. Take that far. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Yahuwah saw the daughters of men. So we got to look at that the way it is, because most people say like, oh, it's not what it's saying. It is what it's saying. So people say like, oh, they're talking about, you know, the sons of man. Would it not make that, wouldn't it not explain that in this verse of scripture? It would have said that. It's saying right here, literally, that it's something else is looking at these women. Now, most people say they don't believe that, but I'm telling you, in scripture, it has to be because why would there's not a demonstration, and it can't pass when he not saying the sons of God begin to multiply. Would it not say that? But it doesn't say that. It says something different. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. Who? The men. That the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men. Wouldn't I not say the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of Elohim, that they were fair? But it doesn't say that. There is something that's about to take place that's not supposed to take place. So for those who don't believe that this happened, it's in scripture. So therefore, it happened. Those who don't believe in the Nephilim, those who don't believe in giants, those who don't believe in all of this talk about the Nephilim is going to return and that they're trying to do that stuff right now. If you don't believe, understand that it was done in the scriptures the first time, then understand there's nothing new up under the sun. What they've done before, they're going to do again. Or it's happening already right now and you don't even know it. Just saying. And maybe that might be the reason why they're causing you to believe a different date than anything else. Because a lot of stuff is taking place right now. You need to see that. Things is happening. Shalom, everybody. I know I didn't say that, but I'm sorry about that. Shalom, family. I do appreciate y'all tuning in when I do come on live. I see Truth Colors growing, and I see when y'all is actually doing a lot. But I definitely wanted to test this real quick because he showed me something. I was talking to my Aki today, and he gave me something, and it tied in what I've already been talking about. But then this right here just puts the icing on the cake. We may not have enough time to get right. I'm just saying, if you, according to what we think time is. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's go. And it came to pass, all right, so I said, so I'm trying to let y'all see that there is something other than regular human men looking at these daughters of men. That's what's taking place, all right? So, that they were fair. So they're looking at it like, oh, dang, they thick. My goodness, look at that body right there. Oh, my. Thank you, Yahuwah, for making them. But they ain't for you. They're for other men. So these beings, and they took them wives. Now, in order for a woman to be your wife, I mean, so anything to seal the deal, that means you have to copulate with them, right? You have to have sex with them. Because if a person get married, and you don't exchange the vows, but you go home and you don't consummate the marriage, if you go before the judge and say, hey, I want to get my marriage annulled, and they say, why? You say, because we're not married. You know what I'm saying? We never sealed the deal. You know what I'm saying? Sex is not marriage, but, you know what I'm saying, it seals the bond between the two becoming one. Why is the two become one? Because the two of them becoming one is the act of sex. You are putting your spirit inside of her spirit. Her spirit inside of your spirit. Your spirit is not like this no more. It's the two shall become twine. One. Why? Because when you have sex, it binds you. It's like super glue in the spirit realm. Your bodies, yeah, they still able to move and fraction with them, but your mind, your heart, your spirit, everything that's a part of you is being copulated and grouped in together with this other being now. Do you understand why sex is so dangerous? It's very dangerous. And why diseases that come through sex, why they're so deadly, there's a reason behind it. The literally diseases that come out of that is a spiritual disease that has manifested in the natural. Anytime the laws of Yah is broken, it can breed a disease that will take place in the natural, which is as a curse upon that person's body. Anytime the law of Yah is broken, something from the spiritual break forth into the natural that causes a person to be disoriented. It causes their emotions to be out of whack. It causes them to want to kill themselves if something bad goes wrong. They cannot think straight. Why? Because anytime we enjoy sex outside of what it was created for, we are inviting curses from the spiritual realm and bringing them into the natural to affect us physically. There's no way you can disprove that. I've seen it every single time. And it's always on point. All right. So so let's see here. And they took them wives of all which they chose. Now watch this. And Yahuwah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. For that he also, now watch this. So I need to see this as well. Understand what's going on here. I want y'all to see those words. My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days, this is a command, yet his days shall be 120 years. 120 years. How many people you hearing about living to be 120 years? You don't hear none. They die what? 45, 60, 80. Some be 101. Some be like 118 though. They close to it. I seen a person who was like 114, 116. They was close to their mark. We think that we live to be 80 years old. We're doing good. No, you're still doing bad. Because you're supposed to be 120 years. But if you don't know, then they can take it from you. Man is supposed to be 120 years. We're getting excited when we see a woman who is 40 years old and she has all of her being, everything to her. She can run, she can do push-ups and all that kind of stuff. We're like, oh my goodness, that is such a marvelous thing to see. Because you don't hardly ever see a 40-year-old person able to do all those things. Let alone a 60-year-old. Oh my goodness, she's 60 years old. She's running a marathon. Oh my goodness, she's beating out all these young girls. It is the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. Wow. Why? Because you don't see people reaching the age of 60 being that vibrant. By the time you reach 60, you like this. Oh, I'm decrepit. Oh, my knees hurt. My back hurt. My breasts hurt. My butt hurt. Everything about my body hurts. It hurts when I breathe. Just take me. Oh, Yahuwah, just take me. I'm ready to go. He like, you only 60 years old. You know how long I give you to live? I won't even care no more. Just take it. It hurts to live. So like all the way up until you about like what? I think 40. And then from 40 years old, you just start to like Cat Williams said, you just get old. You about to get old. You finna get old right now. Get old. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's on you. Like it's not supposed to be like that. That is a curse. That is a curse. It's a mindset. I've seen people when they was young, they be like, when they turn 25, they're like, oh, I'm old. Your own words is betraying you. Oh, oh. By the time you're 25, even in the, and where that come from? The enemy. Anything that Yahuwah has declared, understand it's going to be the enemy's job to make you short-live that. So if Yahuwah's never said, never gave a decree, you shall live 120 years, then the enemy would never be working as hard as he is to make you not live to be 120 years. Everyone knows there is a depopulation agenda. What is that coming from? Because the word was given. Man, yet his days shall be 120 years. Shall be 120 years. That's a declaration. You shall live to be 120 years, meaning you're not supposed to go past the threshold of 120 years. Your maximum life sentence is 120 years. That's the max that I set it at. You can't go to 1,000. You can only go to 120 years, and after that, you gotta die. You gotta go. You can't go past 120 years. Not unless he's merciful, but I don't see that in Scripture. I just see you shall live to be 120 years. But the enemy's job is like, okay, so he decreed it shall be 120 years. I gotta get to work. I gotta make sure they don't ever reach 120 years. So what I'm gonna do? Affect the food. I'm going to cause super hard labor. I'm going to invent all these machines where it's going to emit all these kind of gases and all kind of stuff like that and causes cancer. I'm going to make all these kind of lotion and these different products. I'm going to make these hair products and all this kind of stuff they're going to be putting on their body and putting inside of them. And the stuff is going to be seeping into their body and whatnot, causing cancer to kill them. I'm going to cause breast cancer. I'm going to do all these kind of different things so they don't reach 120 years. And I'm gonna make pig look so delicious. But they won't even know that it sits out. Let me show that real quick. So I got some people here who love pig. I know some people who do. I know they do. So we're gonna look at that real quick. Before we go to this other thing, we gotta look at it. This thing right here. Oh my goodness. Yep, there we go. Big saying. This is nasty. Freaking nasty. Nasty. This might be it. The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease. Y'all hear that? Are affecting about 70% of deaths. We have an epidemic testing debilitating disease that's overcoming the country. 18% of children have never been obese. We're on par to have 1 in 3 people be diabetic in the next 25 years. That's crazy statistics. Have it very dangerous. Large amounts of these substances have unquestionably been associated with clogged arteries, high blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, to absolutely the size of solid. We're talking life and death.
Health organizations have become co-opted. They are taking money from the very industries who are causing the problems.
There's a very strong pharmaceutical industry and lobby that has a huge stake in preserving the status quo.
We've got a $35 billion statin drug industry. Do you ever want to see that go away?
The government's in bed with anyone that gives them the most money.
These are government programs.
Consumers have no idea.
They consider it normal that a town the size of the town I grew up in gets wiped out every year. If that many people were being killed by some terrorist group in the United States every year, we would find them.
From a community standpoint, from all other aspects, we're in a state of emergency.
They care more about cooperation than these people.
They spend at least $138 million lobbying Congress.
These companies really have a vested interest in making sure that the public doesn't have information about their effects.
Any little thing that comes up, and they would be it to that.
They're trying to silence people from not speaking out and not showing the truth. If that's where you want to go with this, I'm sorry, I'm not the person that you should be talking to.
European Socialists are
Wow. Y'all see that? Girl didn't want to talk. Didn't talk about anything. Look at this. All of this stuff is going on. Why is this happening? I just showed it to you. Because a decree was given. Man shall live to be 120 years. What is the enemy's job? To make sure that you do not reach that age. Why? Trying to disprove Yah. To make him seem like he's a liar. But then there's other reason why we can actually get taken out early on too. The Bible says that if we do not, a person that who actually is disobedient to their parents, whatnot, like his light shall be put out. Like if you put your hands on your parents, oh, it's not good. I encourage everyone to look at What the Health, because it is something to see. Like, yeah. Hope they got it. I think this might be it. I'm gonna see if I can play it real quick. But it was like, it's nasty. It was like nasty.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. We're broadcasting today from Tampa, Florida, from Tampa PBS, WPBU. I'm Nina Goodman. We close today's show with a look at the battle between residents of eastern North Carolina and one of the state's largest industries, hog farms. Last week, the North Carolina lawmakers passed House Bill 467, which limits the damages that residents can collect against hog farms.
It's 23 hours.
Is primarily clustered in the eastern part of North Carolina, where hog farms collect billions of gallons of untreated pig feces and urine in what are essentially cesspools, then dispose of the waste by spraying it into the air. In the investigation into the industry, filmmaker Mark DeVries used drones to capture aerial footage of several massive facilities that supply pigs for Smithfield Foods. He spoke with Steve Wynn, Associate Professor of Epidemiology at the University of North Carolina's Gibbons School of Public Health, who described what happens in the facilities.
A cesspool. It's easy for a big hog operation to have as much waste as a medium-sized city. Of course, the pit will fill up, so it has to be emptied, and they're emptied by spraying the liquid waste.
It's the same
Yes.
You heard that right.
If you're familiar with a garden sprayer, they're gigantic versions of that. So they're making droplets, fine mists out of this liquid waste, and that can drift downwind into the neighboring communities.
Ugh.
Residents living in the area of the spray complain of odors so bad it limits their ability to be outdoors and adverse health effects. House Bill 467, or the Agriculture and Forestry Nuisance Remedies Bill, was introduced by Republican State Representative Jimmy Dixon, a longtime farmer who's received campaign contributions from the hog industry. Speaking at a hearing about the legislation, Dixon said, quote, "These claims are at best enormous exaggerations and at worst outright lies. Is there some odor? Yes. But I would like you to close your eyes and imagine how ham and sausage and eggs and fried chicken smell," he said. The legislation comes as a class action suit brought by nearly 500 primarily African American residents of eastern North Carolina seek financial compensation from Murphy Brown, the state's largest hog producer. The lawsuits have now moved to federal court. Well, for more, we're joined by Naima Muhammad, organizing co-director for the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network. And we're joined by Will Hendrick, staff attorney with the Waterkeeper Alliance and manager of the organization's North Carolina Pure Farms, Pure Waters campaign. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Let's begin with Naima. Can you tell us where you live and what you're dealing with today?
Yes, okay. I live in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which is in the eastern part of the state, but I am in the northeastern part of the state. I live away from where these animals are, but I work with communities that's living with these animals, and I've been working with these communities since 1999. And so I'm constantly going into the communities where these animals are, and and I smell what the people living there are smelling. I see the spraying going on. I see the hog houses and the open air lagoons that's just sitting out there. As you travel through those communities, you can't help but see these houses that the animals are kept in, as well as the lagoons and the spray fields.
So I want to turn to another clip from Mark DeVries' video. Here he speaks with Elsie Herring, a resident of Wallace, North Carolina. She's part of the complaint filed with the EPA seeking more protections for neighbors of hog farm operations.
This is what they spray animal waste on us. It's about 8 feet from my mother's house.
What is it
like on the next day? It's not, you think it's raining? Yeah. You think it's raining. You don't open the doors up or the windows, but the odor still comes in. It takes your breath away. Then you start gathering, you get headaches.
And I want to turn to former pig factory farm owner Don Webb.
I shut my hog operation down, and I got out of it. And I couldn't, I just couldn't do another person that way to make them smell bad. It is a cesspool that you put feces and urine in, a hole in the ground that you dump a toxic waste in. And I've seen dead hogs in them and stuff like that. I've seen it. I've talked to the people. I've seen the little children that say, Mama, Daddy, why we got to smell this stuff? You get stories like, I couldn't hang my clothes out. Feces and urine odor comes by and attaches itself to your clothes. And then people will say, we're scared to invite neighbors.
So that's former pig factory farmer Don Webb, who closed his farm. Naima, explain exactly what is in the spray that people are inhaling and getting on their clothes, the residents in East North Carolina?
Okay, so the spray is the animal waste that comes out of the hogs are kept in tent metal housing, and they have slats in the floor where whenever they go to the bathroom or abort baby piglets or whatever happens with them, it falls through the slats in the floor and it's piped out. There are pipes running underneath the ground, and the waste is piped out into the open air lagoon. And there are all kinds of chemicals. And this urine and fecal matter produces methane, ammonia gases, and so you can smell it. And what people say, it smells like rotten eggs, sometimes rotten collard greens, or it's just a terrible smell. And they have been forced off of their wells because they were seeing remnants of the waste in their well waters by the coloring and the odors coming out of their well water.
So, Will Hendrick, you're an attorney with Waterkeeper Alliance. Can you describe how extensive this is, how many people are affected, and what the state Carolina legislature House Bill 467 is all about?
This bill is an attempt to protect polluters over people, to deny rights to the victims of nuisance caused by agricultural operations, and to indeed deny equal rights to those who are disproportionately affected by those nuisance conditions. The question of the scope of agricultural operations is an important one, because the state of North Carolina, unfortunately, does not know the location, its own environmental agency does not know the location of many of the poultry operations that are in this state. Often, they are co-located with the hog operations we've been discussing. As you alluded to, the hog operations are predominantly concentrated in low-income and minority communities, predominantly in southeastern North Carolina. And the residents near these facilities experience significant impacts to their quality of life, many of which Naima discussed. But it is important to note that this bill would reduce property rights for nuisance victims across the state, because it applies to any nuisance caused by any agricultural or forestry operation, which do span from the mountains to the coast.
Why isn't this act illegal?
Well, there are certainly concerns regarding its legality, and ultimately that may be tested in the courts. What we have heard from bill proponents is that they believe this law is necessary to protect small farmers from frivolous lawsuits filed by out-of-state interests seeking to bleed the industry dry. And none of those four features is accurate. First, none of the pending lawsuits are against small farmers. They're instead against the large billion-dollar corporation that is producing this meat. Secondly, there are existing statutory protections against malicious or frivolous lawsuits filed in nuisance against agricultural operations. Third, the lawsuits are being brought by North Carolina lawyers based in Salisbury, North Carolina. And fourth, and most importantly, the attempt here is not to drive this industry out of North Carolina. Agriculture has been and will continue to be an important part of our economy. However, no industry is worth the impacts on public health and the environment that we have seen in this industry. And so the attempt here is not to bleed that industry dry, but instead to make sure that that industry is conducted, that these operations are managing waste in a way that doesn't harm their neighbors.
I want to go to another clip from Mark DeVries' investigation into Smithfield Foods factory farms. This is Steve Wing, Associate Professor of Epidemiology at the University of North Carolina's Giddings School of Public Health.
I think very correctly be called environmental racism or environmental injustice, that people of color, low-income people, bear the brunt of these practices.
So, Will Hendrick, this bill, HB 467, was passed by both houses of the North Carolina legislature. It now goes to be signed by the new Democratic governor, Cooper. What is your understanding of what he will do?
Well, we are urging him to veto this legislation. Of course, that decision is his, and he has to act by this Sunday. We're hoping that he'll step in and be the champion of the people that he campaigned to be. We saw in the McCrory administration concerns about willingness to protect corporate interests over the people of North Carolina. And the coal ash saga was an important part of the electoral season and the campaign dialogue. Similarly, we saw concern by North Carolina voters in response to attempts to decrease the civil rights of many North Carolinians in the HB2 fiasco. Governor Cooper rose to power, was put into office by North Carolinians believing that he would be a champion for the little guy, that he would not kowtow to these large corporations, that he would not solely be the governor for the well-heeled, but be the governor for all Tar Heels in the Tar Heel state.
A Republican North Carolina State Representative Jimmy Dixon is a primary sponsor of HB 467, or the Agriculture and Forestry Nuisance Remedies Bill, again, which would limit damages people could collect against hog farms. Dixon is a longtime farmer who received more than $100,000 in contributions from the pork industry over the last 5 years, including contributions from Bill Prestage, who served on the board of Smithfield, Wendell Murphy Jr. of Murphy Family Ventures, one of the Kent County's largest pork producers, and the North Carolina Pork Council. Can you talk about the significance of this and just exactly who makes up the pig manure lobby?
Certainly. There are an army of individuals that make up that lobby. And listing all of their names would be impossible on this segment. Suffice it to say that there are various interests working to protect the hog industry, the poultry industry, agribusiness in this state. North Carolina is the second leading producer of pork in this country, behind only Iowa. And so there is significant interest by the industry in ensuring that they can operate with minimized exposure to liability. And indeed, they've externalized the costs of waste management. And they're attempting here to reduce the rights of people who are going to court, saying that they are harmed by the way in which waste is managed at these operations, and that they have property rights recognized, since 1611, in Old England, and that those rights deserve protection, and that there should be remedies in courts in North Carolina when those rights are violated.
Naima Muhammad, I wanted to ask you if you can talk more about the class action suit against Smithfield by those affected by the farms, and your organization also filing a Title VI complaint with the EPA. Explain what that means.
Okay, so the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network, Waterkeeper Alliance, and REACH, which is Rural Empowerment Association for Community Health, we joined together and filed a Title VI complaint, which is an act under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And under the Title VI, it states that governmental agencies cannot do business in a way that intentionally or unintentionally have a disproportionate impact on low-income communities. And so in March of 2013, DEQ, which is the Department of Environmental Quality, at that time it was called the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, renewed all of those contract growers permits without putting any protective measures in place for communities living with these animals, even though they had been well informed of the health impacts and environmental impacts by the research that was done by Dr. Steve Wing, and also citizens going up, talking with them. They attended the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network. We have an annual summit every year, the third weekend in October, and Dina always had a representative sitting on our government listening panel. So they
Naima, we're going to have to leave it there as the show wraps up, but we're going to continue to follow this issue. Naima Muhammad, organizing co-director for the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network, and Will Hendrick, attorney with Waterkeeper Alliance, and manager of the organization's North Carolina Pure Farms, Pure Waters campaign. That does it for the show. I'll be speaking tonight in Tampa, 7:30 at the Seminole Heights United Methodist Church. Thursday night.
All right, so you see, that is powerful. It said there is many names that he said, oh my goodness, I can't even name them. He was like, it's a lot of wealthy families that's in on this. Could that be in response to what we just found out here, where Yahuwah says that man shall what? Yet his days shall be 120 years. Every single time that Yah says something, or Yahuwah says something, the enemy's job is to work against it. So you said like they've made it to where they got it to where people can't even lobby against the manure. Like you living in a place where it's just filthy and you can die from this stuff or not. And they made it to where you can't even lobby against it. They said they're working hard to keep doing this. Why? Because they obviously know that it is detrimental. Could, eating pig, could that, them pumping pig as a food, could that be part of depopulation? It is. How many people get cancer from eating pig? It's a lot of people that get cancer from eating pig. But they keep that stuff on a hush. Why is that? Why is pig so dangerous? Why, you understand? Anything that the enemy pumps is because Father said no. Anything that the Father says no to, that's what the enemy's going to pump. That's just how it goes. That's the nature of the beast. Let's look at it. All right. All right. So we see this in both places. All right. Well, we actually see it in a couple places. All right. So we got Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 8. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 17. We're going to look at it. Let's get it. All right. We're going to go to Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. See what's going on here. Y'all just seen what they're doing with pig. You just seen how they are loving the pig right now. All right, let's do this. The pig has evenly split hooves, but does not chew the cud, so it is unclean. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. And then they're taking their manure and spreading it every single where, and it's unclean. Therefore, if it's unclean, that means it can be diseased. If it's causing disease, so people up here just going around just eating, pig is good. Now watch this. Why else would they be in the business of keeping pig around? Why would they be keeping the pig around so much? Why is it? Let's see something. There we go. Because it centers around their holidays. We got Christmas ham. Guess what's coming up right now? There's another kind of ham right now they call it. Exactly, baby. Easter ham. It's a booming business. The holidays is a booming business. It's about money. And we don't care who we hurt to make this money. Therefore, while you eating this, if it's unclean to you, now mind you, you don't even know. Now, if you're eating this right here, I guarantee you, you're eating maggots, bugs, fly larvae, their eggs, and all that stuff. I guarantee you are eating that. Because pork is nasty as I don't know what. It's nasty. It's nasty. And this will kill you. This will, if you are, let's go back to that. Let's go back to this part. Let's do this. Because there is punishment for eating pig. It's punishment. There is a punishment. There we go. Isaiah 66, verse 17. Let's do it. Look at this. All right. Those who consecrate and purify themselves to go into the gardens, following one who is among those who eat the flesh of pigs, rats, and other unclean things. They will meet their end together with the one they follow, declares Yahuwah. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse. So Mickey Mouse is no. Shall be consumed together, saith Yahuwah. You get consumed for eating the wrong things. Your life is cut short for eating the wrong things. So you dying and not reaching 120 years could also be judgment on your life because you ate the wrong things while you were living. And guess what? These people who usually die young, is they dying because something inside of them is killing them. It's cancer. Something is killing them. Just saying. It's jacking them up. So we see here, we got Easter ham, we got Christmas ham. Do we got Thanksgiving ham? Oh, is there a Thanksgiving ham? I'm sure there is. Look, I didn't even have to type it in. Look at Thanksgiving right there. Finished it up for you. Thanksgiving ham. Look at that. So all year round, you are eating. They got you eating ham. Hold on. Let's see something else though. Y'all need to see this. I hope y'all getting grossed out by this. I want you to get grossed out by this. So you just, like, when you see ham, you be like, ooh, chitlins and all that stuff. Like, hope you just get so freaking grossed out by it. Hope they give me that scene I want. I'm looking for the sign of what the hell. I'm looking for that video. I might have to just. I know it's on What the Hell. Yeah, I might have to go to Netflix and pull that part out where they do the pig part. That is just the most disgusting part ever. But they need to see it. Yeah. You see, look at this. Ugh. Chinese or scientists create glow-in-the-dark pigs after injecting them. That is crazy. Pigs is big business. Which y'all need to see. Let me see. Put ports here in place. So it's a lot of things that go on in the pigs. People, it usually like pigs get picked up 2 or 3 weeks later. They've been outside in the sun for they've been outside with flies and everything for at least 2 weeks before they get picked up. Where is the video? We have to keep going. Well, I just guarantee, I just encourage y'all to watch What's the Hell. Like, watch it. Because it's nasty. Like, y'all need to literally see that this is nasty for you. And you see why it's nasty for you. Why? Because it literally says do not eat. So let's do this. See what happens when you put pig in your body. Let's see this. I need y'all to see this. Want to live? Stop eating pig.
Warning. Please read the warning we make in the More Information section of our channel. We aren't responsible for the information herein. See what happens inside your body when you eat pork. In brief moments, a written explanation. The consumption of pork is forbidden in some religions. Pigs are the animals that consume the most disgusting things you can imagine, such as spoiled foods, feces, and urine. The worst thing is that the toxins they consume cannot be eliminated from their bodies, so they actually accumulate in their organs and fat. Yersinia enteropolitica represents a dangerous contaminant which can be present in the pig's body. It causes diarrhea, vomiting, cramps, fever, and sickness. Arachnopamine is another microorganism found in animals' body which can even cause death. Loss of appetite and contamination issue can be caused by Tania solium, found in the pig's intestines. Fever, myalgia, malaise, and edema can be also caused by the parasitic roundworm Trichinella. Chills, sweating, and migraine are usually caused by the meninggal infection. Nausea and fatigue is often caused by the hepatitis E viral irritation. The intestinal parasites in pigs need to be destroyed in order to avoid all of these health issues. By cooking the pork at high temperatures, you can destroy them. Products which can be eaten raw mustn't be put with raw pork. After touching a raw pork, do not forget to wash your hands, and when you buy pork meat, make sure it has no medications, antitoxins, arachnopamine, and chemicals in it. However, the doubt about this meat still exists even when the pork is properly cooked because these animals consume many substandard foods. You can increase the risk of many diseases by consuming pork. In the production of pork meat, pigs from factory are those generally used. But many factory farms do not offer clean air for pigs, sufficient sunlight, and clean pastures. They give pigs medications and anti-infection agents as food instead of green grass, which make them grow and age faster. As we've already mentioned above, most of the pigs in the farms are surrounded by their vomit, feces, and urine. They actually develop pneumonia before being slaughtered because their feces and urine contain ammonia. Pigs also have various skin issues because of the unhealthy environment. The consumption of pork can cause many side effects. All of these are just a few conditions. If you really want to buy pork, research about the origin. If you like the video and you think it can help you, I invite you to give it a like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos.
I like that. Y'all should subscribe there. That was powerful, powerful, powerful. In fact, I'm going to like it. Yeah. Because that video was so disgusting that even if I did eat pork right now, it would cause me to stop eating it, because that was so descriptive, and it puts visions, it puts thoughts in your mind. It paints a picture, a perfect picture of a body that's healthy, and as you eating something that's unhealthy, begins to make your body unhealthy. It literally talks about how the pig gets pneumonia before it's slaughtered. So all the pigs get pneumonia first. Then after they get pneumonia, which is killing them, they chop it up. Then on top of that, it's left outside for 2-3 weeks before the trucks come by and pick them up. And then take and pick them up, you drop them off into the stores so you can eat it. And then you somehow get sick around the same times that most pig is being consumed, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, which inherently causes to be the so-called flu season. Okay, every time. Okay, baby. Which somehow subsequently causes everyone. Isn't it funny how they do that? And then around Thanksgiving and Christmas is when the most pig sales is going on, and then that's when the flu season is supposed to come around. But then we see right here just now that every pig has pneumonia before it is chopped to death. And then so you up here eating pneumonia. And then they talking about get your flu shot so they can cover it up that you're getting it from the pig. You're getting a cold from the pig. That's it. You are getting a cold. You get a pig's cold. We should call this the pig's cold. Penalty of knowing. So, Genesis, getting back to it, 120 years, right? You see this, where Yah said what he said, and the enemy's been working ever since to try to make it less than that, all right? So then it says, there were giants in the earth in those days. Now watch this. And also after that, when the sons of Elohim came in unto the daughters of men, i.e., had sex with them, point blank. So remember again, this is not regular men. These are not regular men. People want to believe that and say, oh, they're talking about men. No, it says when the sons of Elohim. So from the very beginning, like I said, if it would have talking about regular men, they said the daughters of men. Wouldn't it not be the daughters of the sons of Yah? But we don't see that because they're talking about something different. Most people don't want to wrap their head around it. I don't want to believe that. It don't matter if you want to believe it. It's right here. All right. So when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown, meaning the Nephilim, the giants. So the mixing of seed produced giants. All right. Now watch this. And Yahuwah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually, meaning he was disobedient. And it repented Yahuwah that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahuwah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing in the fowls of the earth, for it repented me that I have made them. Why? Because these giants. If you read the book of Enoch, now these giants had an insatiable sexual appetite. They was having sex with birds, animals, pigs, whatever you can think of. If you had a reproduction area, they was in it, and they was reproducing with everything. It says it, and they defiled everything. Now, in my mind, I'm just thinking. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's true, but this is what I'm getting. Now, in the dinosaurs, there were two types of dinosaurs. There was dinosaurs that ate other animals, and there was dinosaurs that just only ate vegetation. My thinking is these giants or whatever, it talks about in the book of Enoch, because all this stuff is all calculated in the book of Enoch. It talks about how they begin to start having sex with everything. They say they had sex with birds. So if they're having sex with birds, what would that look like? What would the offspring look like? Is there a bird, man? I'm thinking, and I'm telling you, listen to this. I'm thinking more of a pterodactyl. All right, because in the book of Enoch, now watch this. In the book of Enoch, it says the giants, right? So the sons of Elohim. We gonna look at that. We should go to the book of Enoch so we can see this right here. We can see this. We can see this out here clearly. People be like, what in the world? We gonna look at this. We need to see this because there's a cost for knowing. There's a penalty for knowing. Because we ain't even got to that part yet. We about to, how all this stuff is tying in. Okay, everything is tying in. All right. Book of Enoch. What part is that? Let's see. They defiled a bird. How do you defile a bird, man? they literally was getting down with every single creature. They defiled mankind. It was like watching what was that again? The Guardians of the Galaxy. He was just defiling everything. What's his name? What was his name? The father's name? No, not him. Not Luke Skywalker. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's father. Yeah, what was his father? I know they called him that though. A little bit as a joke. But what was his Odo? What was his name? Something. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking Tom Manuna, yo, right? You. Let me see. Here it is. All right, so we're gonna go there. Oh, let's see that. Can I bring that up? Bring it up. It won't even scroll. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. All right, that's bigger. Okay. Right. Right. Yeah, here we go. All right. So we see chapter 5. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. Okay. So by them having sex with the women, they defiled themselves as being the sons of Yah. And they taught them. Now watch this. See, this is where we get into the thing of the penalty of knowing. All right. The penalty of knowing. And they taught them charms, enchantments, and the cutting the roots, and made them acquainted with plants. What's that, everybody? Witchcraft. Wiccans. Isn't it known? It's like when all the women who always used to get into witchcraft went out, they always bare naked, they in the woods, always out in the forest. They call them tree huggers. You see it right here. This is why they don't want you to read that book, because it will show exactly where all this stuff is coming from. Watch this. Let's go. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Look at that. That's a tall person who consumed all the acquisition of men. That means they were eating people. And we see why Yahuwah is saying, like, man's heart is continually evil. There's violence on the earth. Why? Because these giants is eating everything. They eating everybody. Now watch this. And when men could no longer sustain them, look at it. They can't hold them back no longer. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Do you see how bad this is? This is during the time of Noah. I can't imagine being Noah, seeing all these giants, or seeing dinosaurs, whatever, which is probably their children, run around this mud, eating people. And they began to sin against birds, and beasts, and reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh. They begin to eat one another. Who in history began to devour one another that we know of? Only thing I could think of is dinosaurs. That's the only thing that comes to mind, is dinosaurs. You have the ones who ate plants, and the others who would eat one another. Right? Look at it. And drink the blood. Right? And the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Look at them. We call them lawless. Lawless ones. We're going to keep on going because it's good. Keep on going. I need to see this. Look at these names. I need to get these names. You need to get these names. Your son or your daughter might be playing with one called Pokemon. All right. So Azazel taught men to make swords. Who is this? This is one of the sons of Yah. This is a fallen one. He's teaching them about what? War. Y'all got a game? Hold on, no. Let me teach you. Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you, because these things, when stuff like this happens, this is where y'all begin to work on my mind. I'll have to go to these different places. Let's see if we can help you out here. Yeah. God of war. But Yahuwah also said he was a man of war, though. So you see how it all comes into play? A man of war. The Lord, see, Yahuwah is a man of war. See? He's a man of war. The enemy does nothing new. He only does what Yah does, and he tries to pervert it. So we see here, right here. Yahuwah is a man of war. I remember that stuff from the context of what stuff I read in the Bible. The stuff is just, when I'm in and stuff, like people are like, how do you know that? Wow, how did it come up? It's just, I go one place and then all of a sudden, spirits say, all right, here, he flash the scripture or flash something to me, and I just go there, and it just connect. That's how it happens every single time. All right, so getting back to it, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates. So this place is becoming very, very wicked now. And made known to them, look at this, the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of, look at that, what is that? And I'm going to talk about this, 'cause I'm doing a video on this real soon. I've already started to work on it. We're going to look at some things. We got to look at it. All right, look at it. A chemical element of atomic number, brittle, silvery, white metal. So he's teaching them about metals still. All right? So we see that. All right? It's metals. Getting back to it, where we at? Let me actually probably clear these guys. We'll have all these open. Get lost. All right. So like I said, yeah. And the beautifying of the eyelids, makeup. It was the sons of Yah. It was devils that gave y'all makeup. I'm gonna say it again. I love that. That is just so powerful. It was demons that gave you makeup. I love it. It's beautiful. Look at it. And the beautifying of the eyelids and all kinds of costly stones. So being decked with necklaces and all this stuff is coming from these fallen ones, right? In all coloring tinctures, okay? And there arose much godlessness. So people are becoming self-absorbed. They're no longer really looking towards Yahuwah no more. They are now becoming, everything is now turning inward. How do I look? Does that seem like today? Everyone is on Facebook and Snapchat like, are we moving towards the same? Is everything, there's nothing new up under the sun. Everything seems to be happening the same. I look good. I look great. Oh, could you take a picture for me, please? I gotta do my makeup. I gotta do my eyebrows. Men doing the same thing too. I gotta go get a fake weave. I can't grow no hair, so I'm gonna put something right here. I don't lost my hair up here, so I'm gonna put a weave up in this mud so I can still keep, so I can say I still got it. Got it right here. There it is. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication. Young people usually get dressed up, go out to the nightclub, but not to come home to go do what? Fornicate. So they all got themselves all. So there's nothing new here. We see the same thing right here in the book of Enoch. What's new about this? There's nothing new. We're still doing the same thing today as they did back then. That caused y'all to say, I'm destroying the earth. I'm destroying everybody on earth. So, and they arose much godliness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray. How to get led astray? Because Azazel taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. So he brought in war and made known to them the different metals and the art of working them, and the bracelets and the ornaments and the use of, and then so he bringing in all these idol worship and beautifying of the eyelids, so they themselves begin to worship themselves. All right, and all kinds of costly stones and all kind of coloring tinctures, and there arose much godlessness because of those very things caused godlessness. They began to look inward instead of looking outward, and they committed fornication. So it caused them, it pushed them towards doing the wrong things because of what they looked like and what they were making and what they were doing. Understand? All right, birds of a feather flock together. They were led astray. It says literally because of these different things that they did, the beautifying of the eyelids, they went astray and became corrupt, not in some of their ways, but in all their ways. This corrupted man. All right, so Semajah, which is another fallen being, taught enchantments and root cuttings. What's enchantment? Let's look at that. Let's see what that is. We always got to see what stuff is. Why? Because if we don't, we got to see this. Everyone has a part to play in this. Everybody has a part to play in this. I hope y'all getting something from this. I know somebody getting something from this. All right, enchantments. See what that is. Oh, y'all saying this stuff? Oh, y'all see that? I know y'all see that, but y'all probably can't see it. So let me make it so you can't see it. So you understand what this is. What he brought in. What is homeboy bring to the table? I'm going to bring incantations. What's incantations? Those are spells. Enchantments. A magical spell. Charm. He brought in Disney. If you understand. Bewitchment. In traditional fairy tales, he brought in charm. All right? Understand? Traditional fairy tales. He brought in Tinkerbell. Peter Pan. Once Upon a Time. Understand? Or fantasy. Final Fantasy. The sense of wonder. Now, what is this new movie that's coming out with Oprah Winfrey? Does it fit in with this? Let me see. What's it called again? Someone please post that. What is that new movie with Oprah Winfrey? You want to know? I know y'all know. Somebody know. Anybody? Anybody? I don't see no one typing. Nobody. If they're typing, I can't. I mean, hopefully they got this up to date. I know they should have. What is it called? Everyone can say something. Yeah, I know. I have it set up to where people can speak. Hello? Alright. I guess I have to find it. Because I cannot see if I'm saying anything. Hold on the other page. I'm looking in between all the things. All right, new movie. Oprah's in. It's called Twinkle or something. Wrinkle in Time. Look at that, a wrinkle in time. Now, why in the world would they probably have a wrinkle in time? Could it be referring back to this time? The Book of Enoch? when it all began? Just a wrinkle in time. Remember how it's funny? A wrinkle in time, how it's funny how that all fits in right there. It's a wrinkle in time how Adam didn't reach the 1,000 years. He didn't reach a day. He only reached a wrinkle in time. Because if he didn't reach a day, it's just a little time. So how much more wrinkle of a time do we have? So it's a wrinkle in time. What is this about? Let's see. What is this about? Let's see what this is about. See something.
You want to create a stunning website?
No, I don't.
I've already done it.
I
with Wix.
Wonderful.
Let me show you how it's done.
I'm so happy.
I mean, I'm gonna need to put these.
I'm glad that you did that. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
What if we are here for a reason? What if we are part of something truly divine? And imagine 91 billion light years traveled like that.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Your father has accomplished something extraordinary, also dangerous. He's trapped by a darkness that's actively spreading throughout the universe. And the only one who can stop it is you. Be a warrior.
I'll try.
You're going to be tested every step of the way. Trust nothing.
Darling, time for dinner. Are you lost?
The only thing faster than light is the darkness. Close your eyes. Say with mine.
Wow.
You were a top student, but look at you now. You can't keep using your father's disappearance as an excuse to act out.
Is that his work? What's it about?
Your dad wanted to touch the stars. Imagine that the ant here wants to get to another ant.
The quickest option is to walk across the street.
But it turns out a straight line is not the shortest distance between 2 points. Not if you use a fifth dimension.
It's outside of the rules we know of time and space.
So,
the ant arrives in my hand instantaneously.
So you fall into space.
More likely wrinkle it. Where are we?
We heard a cry out in the universe.
Father's alive.
We believe he is, and we're here to help you find him. We are in search of warriors.
Warriors who serve the good and the light of the universe.
Could it be those fallen beings?
Do I look like I'm kidding? A little. I'm not. I'm not.
Your father's trapped by an evil energy.
It's too strong for our light.
And the only one who can stop it is you. Be a warrior.
Remember, they taught him how to fight. And it's funny how it's all included in this.
Love is always there, even if you can't see it.
Do you trust me? I trust you!
All right. So it's funny how Stand Up, Be a Warrior. We just got through reading how it was the fallen ones who actually taught them how to become warriors, right? You don't see that at first, but now you see warriors in the Book of Enoch. You see now the enchantments and root cuttings, and we done got through reading what that looks like and what that is. And, you know, it's enchantments, wonder, or delight, you know, seeing what all that is. It is. Look at how many times enchanting, gaming, how this stuff is playing into our world every day. Getting back to it. All right, and root cuttings, and there's another fallen being right there, the resolving of enchantments. So, what does that look like? What's the resolving? What is the resolving of enchantments? What does that mean? Let's copy that. So I don't want to mess this up right here. I hope y'all seeing some stuff. I hope y'all connecting some dots. The penalty of knowing. This is the penalty of knowing. They didn't want to know. They start to teach them, right? Teach them this stuff. This all came with eating from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Distinct powers of the Watchers. Name of the Watchers, right? Yeah. Echoes. Wow, look at this. This is their books and stuff. It is. Look at this. Y'all see this? All I did was write in something, and it brought them all their names, who they are. Good. According to the Book of Enoch. See it? He takes the brunt of the blame for what happened. Now, these are the ones who actually are reserved in chains until Judgment Day. These are the ones. Ezekiel is considered a demon and is occasionally identified as the devil or as one of the chieftains. Y'all understand this thing? I hope that's understood.
It's Efes Hours.
Also appears in Jewish folklore. Look at this. Y'all see this? Angel. Y'all understand this, what y'all been going through. Y'all have no idea. Taught enchantment and root cuttings. Look at this. Taught you how to make war, knives, shields, breastplates. To use paint to beautify of the eyebrows. The use of stones. Y'all see this. Look at this. Taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Told you, it's there. Taught of solution of sorcery. Taught the resolving of enchantments. That's what we were looking for right there. Taught the observers of the stars. That's what I wanted to get to. Taught the observers of the stars. Taught astrology. Y'all understand now? All right, thank you. Taught the science of the constellations. Now, look at that. Ooh, wait a minute. Taught the science of the constellations. He taught the science of the sky. What does that mean? What did he teach? I have to type it out for y'all. What did he teach? And y'all keeping it to this day. And don't even understand what you're keeping. He taught that. Horoscopes. So he talk astrology, so he teaching horoscope, the observer of the star. See? Observer of the star, astrology. Taught the science of the constellations. Understand? how they work, what it is. You know, the Big Dipper, all that stuff. You understand? Taught the knowledge of the clouds, all right? This person taught the signs of the earth. This one taught the signs of the sun. It's not all these things. Taught the motion of the moon. Taught the course of the moon. Taught signs. Taught astronomy. Taught the bitter and sweet, the use of ink and paper, right? Taught the children of men all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, and the smitings of the embryo in the womb, that it may pass away. So he taught abortion. He taught how to kill a baby. Introduce weapons of war. It is. The many names of the Nephilim. That's who they are. Understand? Now, the penalty for knowing astronomy. The penalty for knowing the constellation. Let's see what happens here. What Yah says about that. There's a penalty for going in deep into the depths of Satan. So eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is going into the depths of Satan. The depth of Satan. His knowledge. Okay? There it is. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. Okay. See what it says. See what happened. We just seeing who taught it, but we're going to see what Yah has said about it. The penalty for knowing. What it says right here. Sorcery forbidden. We just got through reading that someone taught sorcery, right? We just got through reading that. What did he teach? Let's go back. Let's go back. Taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Boom. Then Yah comes back later on and destroys that. Says, no, you was not supposed to learn that, right? That no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination, right? Or sorcery, interprets omens. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Interprets omens. Remember, he said he taught people how to, he's out here, taught the resolving of enchantments. That's probably the teaching of omens, the resolving of omens. Right there. Okay. Go back. All right. Engages in witchcraft. All right, so this new living. For example, never sacrifice your son or daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling, or use sorcery, or interpret omens, or engage in witchcraft. Do you see this? There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or daughter pass through the fire, or one who uses divination, one who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer. I want you to get this. Why I want you to get this? Because you understand what this is. Here it is. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times. There's a penalty for knowing, or an enchanter or a witch. Now, what is an observer of times? You're going to go back here and see how they all flow together. This is the horoscopes. And look what they taught them. Taught the observers of the stars. Taught astrology. Taught the science and the constellations. Taught the knowledge of the clouds. Taught the signs of the earth. Taught the signs of the sun. So let's look at some things real quick. through the holidays. Run off the constellations. You can't make this up. Holiday lights for Guy and Winter constellations now visible at night. Space.com. Are y'all getting this? I hope y'all getting this. I hope you getting now what you are keeping when you celebrate holidays. If you are keeping the holidays, this is what you are keeping. You are keeping everything that they taught you. And literally what that is, you are an observer of the times. So if you're saying baby Jesus was born December 25th, this is what you're keeping. If you're keeping Easter or Resurrection Sunday, this is what you are keeping. The penalty for knowing. You're keeping this because the holidays run off the constellations of the stars, the sun, the moon. It runs off the constellations. That the fallen ones taught them. That's how it runs off. That's how it works. And guess what you're doing? And most people don't understand it. Why was they teaching them this? Because every single thing that they was teaching them about themselves. So when you're keeping Christmas and keeping Thanksgiving, keeping all these different holidays, whatnot, you're actually keeping them as Elohims in your life. You are worshiping these fallen ones. That's why their punishment is so grave. Why? Because Yahuwah knew exactly what they did. Knew exactly what they did. And it's still going on to this day. Y'all still keeping Christmas, y'all still keeping all these holidays. That's why those who are going to be set apart, they're going to keep Yahuwah's feast days, his holy days, versus the holidays. Because if you're keeping the holidays, I'm showing you right now what you are keeping. You are keeping this. You're keeping everything that they taught their wives. That's what you're doing. I'm not going to keep you that much longer. Just want to show you that. That is the penalty for knowing. Look at this. The sky map for the late December evening sky, 11 p.m. shows a sampling of unsung constellations available for die-hard sky watchers. Die-hard, let's put this, for die-hard observer of the times. Sky watchers is the same thing as being an observer of the time. Let's see. Y'all don't believe me. You're like, no, it's not. It doesn't mean that. Sky watchers don't mean that. Okay. I like that. I love that. I love that. Let's find out the root word. See, the enemy doesn't do anything new. He just changed the name and make you think that it's something different. When you start doing a little bit of research or searching things out, you begin to start finding out different things. I don't think I want your dictionary. constantly observe or monitor the sky, especially for celestial objects or aircraft. But see, they have to put aircraft in there, but no. It's for celestial objects. See how they put the truth in there and try to mix it up with the hospital? Observer. Boom. Or monitor the sky. Sky watchers. Observer of the times. Especially for celestial objects. Huh. Celestial objects. You mean like these celestial objects? Do you understand what these celestial objects are now? Linux, Cancer, all of these things right here that you see are him. These are they who you see. It's them. Yo, Gemini, Cancer, Linux, all these different names. They taught you those different names, who they are. Why? Because you are worshiping them. So when you're keeping up the horoscope, you're finding out what Cancer has to say to you. And Cancer is probably Coco Abel or Iris Gil. You understand? It's one of the following ones. They just go by the name of Cancer, Capricorn, Taurus. And so you're finding out what they're saying, and based off of the constellation of the sky, the constellation of the stars, they give you a what? A word, a fortune telling cookie. They say, well, on this day, this is what's going to happen. I would stay in the house right now today because if you're a Capricorn, you might be a little edgy today, blah, blah, blah. What's happening? They are still speaking to you from the sky. Observers of the sky. Horoscopes. Holidays. Your holidays is based off of the sky. It's based off of horoscopes. Observer of the times. I sometimes sky watch just for the fun of it. And we see right here, it says, don't do it. Why he's saying don't do it? Because you are looking unto other beings. One who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer. Understand? Alright? So, hopefully y'all got that. Hope y'all got something from this. Oh yeah, I said we're going to look at the phrases real quick. So time is winding up. We're going to have to look at something real quick and get up out of here. I'm not trying to reach the 2-hour and 50-minute mark. I was trying to get out by 1:20, but it didn't happen. I just stopped saying I'm trying to do short videos. Pretty much stop saying it never happens. So just let y'all use me if you're gonna use me. Let it be, right? All right. Okay, so we got Revelation 16 and we got Revelations 9 and 14. All right, so we're going to look at Revelations 4 real quick. All right, let's get it. Understand? There were some spirits also in the Euphrates rivers that also was released. All right, let's go. At the time. All right, let's see. Saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Loose some of these angels who was bound in Euphrates River. You understand that? So when the river becomes dry, completely dry, 4 new spirits is released into the earth. And I guarantee you, it's probably the worst of them all that's released. Hope y'all getting great. All right. So we're gonna go to the next one. Saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet. Okay, what kind of trumpet is that though? We need to see what trumpet. What is it? The fourth trumpet? You know, we need to know what trumpet. Are you the sixth trumpet? I mean, seventh trumpet. That's important right now. That's very, very. We need to know what trumpet this is. Oh, snap! All right, so we got the fifth trumpet, the sixth trumpet. It's this sixth trumpet. All right. I need to understand that. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the fourth. Let me make this large. All right. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger so you can see that as well. Yeah. All right. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before Yahuwah, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour, not a day. Understand that. So if 1,000 years is a day, what makes an hour? Is that within 100 years? So 100 years. What will equate to an hour? So a day is 1,000 years. Which one prepare for an hour? In a day. So we prepare for an hour and a day. Wow. In a month. In a year. We prepare for an hour. 1 hour. A day. 1,000 years. And then a month. And then a year. So a lot in it, right? Four to slay the third part of men. So they're going to be a part of the population of the earth. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard a number, and thus I saw the horses vision that sat on them, breath fire, and the brimstone. stone in the heads. Other horses were as heads of lions. Out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. What is that? That we're seeing here? Probably the war that these fallen ones showed how to make. It's where all weapons must come from here. Everything that's bad to mankind came from it. All right, moving. By these three, the third part of man killed. So when they did. Nothing yet. He was like, all right, let me handle my light work real quick. By these three was the third part of man killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. Woo. For their power is in their mouth, and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands, that they should not worship devils. Wait a minute, didn't we just have this conversation? We just talked about that, right? Holidays. What are you doing when you're keeping these holidays? Remember, I just showed you. Orion, when you're keeping these horoscopes, Cancers and Gemini and all that stuff, what you are doing is you are worshiping the following. Your holidays is aligned perfectly with the constellations because they are one in the same. And then we see right here that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood. And we saw where that came from. Right here. This is where all that came from. From the followings. All right. Which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries. There it is again. Nor of their fornication, nor of their theft. So every single thing that these demons, or these fallen ones, the sons of Yah, the sons of Elohim, taught humanity is the very same thing that plagues them. The price or the penalty of knowing these things. There's a penalty for knowing them. Yahuwah says to unlearn them. Don't do them. I don't want you to know this. If you know this, there's a penalty for knowing how to observe the times. Now, all right, so we see this, all right? So we see this is coming out of the Euphrates River, all right? So let's look at the Euphrates River, right? Let's look at it. What does the Euphrates River look like now, today? And after that, I'm getting off of here. So you want to make you see like, oh, it's so beautiful, so full. Just say Euphrates River now. Now. Oh, snap. That does a little bit better. That's what I want. Euphrates River now. Not through how it used to look. You see that? Look at this river. But I want you to see how it looked at first. You need to see how it looked at first to understand this. Look at it. How full it was. It's full of water. Kind of hard for people to get through. You know what I'm saying? Kind of hard. Let that happen. And we got, look at that. Look how beautiful that look right there. Look how full it looks. Euphrates.org. Look, beautiful. See that river right there? See how full it looks? Really full. You can't get nothing through there. Right? And there were spirits, 4 demonic entities that was inside of here, being held. As long as this water was full, they're held like in a jail, if you will. There's a jail going on. As long as the water is full, they remain in chains. Now, when the water begins to depreciate and gets lower and lower and lower and lower, something, look at this right here, look at this. Boom, look at, oh, wait a minute. Something's happening with this one. It's getting a little dry. It's a year ago. All right, let's look at this. Riverbank, this is a year ago, right? So they don't want people to see this. And I'm showing you prophecy is taking place, homie. By playing this video, you're greeted to it. Yeah. Come on, Twitter.
Em kiştin çöne ferhatê. Şervanên hesede li ser dirêjahiya 11 kîlometran ev herêm kontrolkirine. Metirsiyeke bêdengên vir heye. Em nikarî bûn demeke dirêj vir bimînin. Şervan gotin ku Daişê herêmê topbaran dike û metirsiya segvanên wan heye.
Y'all see that? It's getting lower. It was saying that the water is leaving. Now, the funny thing is this. If they know anything about prophecy, best believe they're on it. Like, wait a minute. Something is about to take place. Something's about to happen. They might be looking at it like, oh, the God has blessed us. You know what I'm saying? We can go across. We can start war now. They have to understand. There's no way they cannot not understand scripture on this. They have to understand what this means. That the Euphrates is drying up. Look at people dropping off into the water, man. Look at that. Dropping off into Euphrates. That's how full it was. Now, let's look at it. Can this really be the Euphrates River, though? Can it be? It says National Geographic. So we're going to do Euphrates now again. Euphrates River now. I want to get the right one. All right. Ooh, snap. That's not good. Okay. There we go. Look at that. You can't even put a boat in there no more. Your boat going to get stuck in the mud. It doesn't work. Look at that. boat getting stuck in the mud. It's not good. But there's another thing right here that actually has scripture with it. Look at this. We need to know what time we in right now. Open it up. Oh, I probably did open it up. Oh, that is. Ooh, look at. Do y'all see that now? It's on. Is that water back there? All right, so see that? Look how it's drying up. See all that back there? All this right here is, it's still got some water in there, but it's drying up. Remember a year ago, it was a little bit fuller than this, and now it's drying up. Remember, once this whole thing is completely dry, there is something that happens. Let's see if it's there. I saw it. I saw it. I better, people need to wake up. This is not the time to be playing wishy-washy. This is not the time to be not having your understanding. Yeah, baby. All right. Your hair is a princess crown. Yes, your hair is a crown. That's why it sits up there like that. Y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all can look this up and see that this river is drying. It's no longer plush like it once was. It is. Look, everyone knows. See, look, they already. You don't think they know about this? They are waiting for this. Waiting for this. The fallen angels, the four fallen angels in the Euphrates, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the fourth powers of the golden altar, which is before Yahuwah, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four fallen angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Remember, when that river is completely dry, you're going to see some things that you ain't seen before. But I got to tell you right here, be prepared, because war, famine, and chaos is on the way. In a dream that I had about the presidency, Obama and Trump, in the sky when Trump got into office, when the Republican got into office one night, it was already civil unrest going on, where Yahuwah showed me in the sky, because I looked up in the sky and everything was pitch black. All I seen was the words war, famine, and chaos. They're not going to tell you about it, but I'm telling you, in this reign of the time of Trump being in office, you're going to see war, famine, and chaos. It's going to happen. Now, whether the newscasters, whether they keep it on a hush-hush, but there's war already taking place over in the Middle East, but they're being quiet about it. So one part of the thing's already happened. But war, famine, and chaos is going to be happening. It's going on. There's going to be a shortage of food, if you will. Shortage of water. That stuff is already starting to take place. War, famine, and chaos. What that means? It's going to be unrest. Even more civil unrest. People are going to be demanding their rights. And there's going to be rioting in the streets. People are going to be trying to overrun the police. Police are going to be trying to overrun the people. Trying to keep, people in their places and whatnot. War, famine, and chaos is coming. Tell me. So, be prepared. Be prepared. Keep your family tight. Keep your family structured tight. Keep that knit tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. And as people exposing more things that these hierarchies and higher people in higher positions are doing, you're going to see them come up even more missing. You're going to start seeing people getting silenced on Facebook, YouTube, stuff not being allowed to get posted. Don't be surprised if you're trying to post the truth, for real. That's going to really open people's eyes, and they will not allow it to be seen. Do not be surprised. Don't be surprised if they try to block you or either take you out the air completely. Don't be surprised. It's telling you, this is where we at. This is where we at. The more that this river continues to dry up, more things are going to be released and happening. Why? Because it's the fulfilling of Scripture. Now, with that being said, that was the sixth trumpet that was blown. What happens on the seventh trumpet? You see what I'm saying? It can't be 2018. Can't be. It's a lie. We are so close to the 7,000 year or to the seventh day that it's not even funny. And it's their job to keep you not understanding that. And to keep you in all this idolatry, to keep you in all this worship of these different names. This is who you're worshiping. If you're keeping Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Resurrection Sunday, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to put your spin on it, St. Patty's Day, all these National Flip-Flop Day, and all these other kind of days like that, this is what you are worshiping. The Nephilim. This is who you're worshiping. Because these days, these special days get named according to the constellations that they were taught from these fallen beings. And with that, I'm done. Y'all be good. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, subscribe to Truth Colors on YouTube and also to Colors of Truth on YouTube. That's the new page since I can't stream live no more on Truth Colors on YouTube for 3 months. So I can stream live on Colors of Truth until they shut that down. But I just got out of jail yesterday on Facebook, and hopefully they don't put me back in jail for this video. So y'all have a good one. Love y'all much. Shalom. Shalom.